Ever catch yourself doing something that you know is going to mess things up for you? You have a big project due, and suddenly you're binge-watching that new series. You're trying to eat healthier, but then donuts. Or maybe you keep finding yourself in relationships that just aren't good for you. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone, and it's not necessarily about laziness or a lack of willpower. In fact, it's often the opposite. It's your mind trying to protect you. Today, we're diving into the fascinating and sometimes frustrating world of self-sabotage and how it's deeply rooted in Freud's defense mechanisms. So what exactly are these defense mechanisms? Think of them as unconscious mental strategies our minds employ to protect us from anxiety, stress, and difficult emotions. Sigmund Freud believed that when our ID, our primal desires, and our superego, our moral compass, clash, or when we face situations that are too overwhelming to handle directly, our ego calls in the cavalry. These defense mechanisms are then deployed, often without us even realizing it, to shield us from that internal conflict. The problem is, while they might offer temporary relief, these mechanisms can actually prevent us from growing, learning, and achieving our goals. They become these unconscious patterns that keep us stuck. Let's look at a few common ones. There's denial. This is when you refuse to accept reality. Maybe you're avoiding a doctor's appointment because you don't want to hear bad news, or you're convincing yourself that your excessive spending isn't that bad. Then there's projection. This is when you attribute your own unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or motives to another person. For example, if you're feeling insecure about your abilities, you might constantly accuse others of being jealous or trying to undermine you. And perhaps one of the most powerful is repression. This is the unconscious blocking out of traumatic or unacceptable memories or feelings. They don't disappear, though. They can manifest in other ways, often as physical symptoms or unexplained anxieties. From a psychology perspective, these defense mechanisms are essentially a survival response. Our brains are wired to avoid pain and discomfort. When faced with situations that feel too threatening, whether it's the fear of failure, rejection, or shame, the brain kicks into overdrive to protect the delicate ego. It's like an emergency system designed to keep us from being completely overwhelmed. But here's the kicker. The very things that are meant to protect us can end up becoming the very things that hold us back. Think about procrastination. It's not just laziness. Often, it's a defense mechanism. Maybe you're afraid of not doing a good enough job, so you delay starting. Or perhaps you're afraid of the success itself, of the expectations that come with it. Addiction, in many forms, can also be a way to numb painful emotions or escape difficult realities. It's a temporary shield from distress, but with devastating long-term consequences. And then there are toxic relationships. We might find ourselves repeatedly drawn to partners who are unavailable, critical, or even abusive. This could be a pattern rooted in past experiences, a subconscious attempt to fix something from our childhood, or a way to avoid the fear of true intimacy. So what can we do about it? The good news is understanding these mechanisms is the first crucial step. We can't fight what we don't see. Here are some actionable steps you can take. 1. Recognize your triggers. Start paying attention to when and why you self-sabotage. What situations, feelings, or people tend to bring out these behaviors. Keep a journal, or just make a conscious effort to notice the patterns. 2. Challenge your thoughts. When you notice a self-sabotaging thought, ask yourself, is this thought really true? What evidence do I have for it? What's another way to look at this situation? 3. Practice self-compassion. This is huge. Be kind to yourself. You are not a failure for having these tendencies. You are human, and your mind has been trying to protect you. Treat yourself with the same understanding and forgiveness you would offer a friend. 4. Seek professional support. If these patterns are deeply ingrained or causing significant distress, don't hesitate to talk to a therapist or counselor. They can provide tools and guidance to help you navigate these complex psychological processes. Ultimately, self-sabotage is a symptom, not the core problem. It's your mind's way of signaling that something is out of balance, that there's a hidden pain or fear that needs attention. By understanding Freud's defense mechanisms, And by taking conscious steps to identify and work with them, we can begin to dismantle these self-imposed barriers. We can move from unconsciously hindering ourselves to consciously creating a life that aligns with our true desires and potential. It's a journey, but it's a journey worth taking. Thanks for watching. And that brings us to the end of today's journey. If this video opened your mind, gave you a new perspective, or made you question the way you see yourself and the world, don't just let it fade away. Carry it with you, reflect on it, and apply it to your own life. If you found value here, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next exploration into the mind, the soul, and the universe beyond the self. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you most? And what new questions came up for you while watching? Drop your insights in the comments. I always read them. Until next time, keep questioning, keep growing, and keep going beyond the self.